healthy, all these colds and stuff going
Yeah, no, everybody's doing okay, I think. Some guys got a little bit, but nothing too bad.
Waverly's back then and okay for you?
You know, he practiced yesterday, and I think he'll be okay. He had a rough weekend. He wasn't feeling very well at all, but has bounced back a little bit. He did practice yesterday, so I think he'll be ready to go.
Talking with Arsalan, he picked the school because he says it was a good fit. How good of a fit do you think it is having him with your team right now?
Well, I'm glad he thought it was a good fit because, he's a good player. Really like him. He's a good young man. He's really unselfish, and today's game, to have someone like that that's that talented and that unselfish, I think he's really blended in well with his teammates. Everybody likes him, and we've been very fortunate. J.R. Strobridge, Olu, and DeVoe last year, and now Arsalan, have really been good guys to work with, easy to work with as a coach and a coaching staff, and really blended in well with their teammates, so we've been really lucky.
He seems pretty grounded. How do you see him?
Very mature, very intelligent, really a good young man.
How did you approach with him, though? Eugene maybe has some cultural challenges for any foreign student, its population, is it?
Well, I think Arsalan, it was probably a big change coming from Houston.
Yeah.
You've got a metropolitan area there, and it's very different than that. But, Arsalan is so focused in on his studies, basketball. He wants to be the best student he can be, the best player he can be, and I don't think he thinks he has much time for anything else, So, very focused young man. Priorities, I believe, are in the right order, and like I said, he's been really easy to work with.
He's got a lot of steals, and I called him a big man. He said he wasn't a big man, but I think it's unusual for a guy his kind of game, down low guy to
great
do
basketball
that.
savvy, great hands, and he works hard on the defensive end. When he gets himself in a little better shape, I think he'll be able to do a lot of things. But no, I think he's got really good basketball savvy, really good hands, and he's made a lot of defensive plays for us.
Is there an art to steals? Is it an anticipation thing? Is it quickness?
The basketball savvy is a big part of it. Experience, I think, in his case, is a big part of it. He does have strong hands and quick hands for a guy his size, and so I think there are a lot of qualities that blend together to make him a good defensive player.
You mentioned you were trying to get him to rein back, kind of gambling a little too much. Is that something that
you got to pick and choose your spots. He's gambled a number of times, and they've taken it by him. So I've showed him on film that it's like a defensive back in football. You got to pick your spots. You can go for a steal every now and then, but your ratio's got to be pretty good. Otherwise, you take yourself out of as many plays as you put yourself into. So we're just trying to get him to take calculated risk. You're not going to be right all the time, but right now the ratio is not what I want it to be.
Where's his ceiling as a player?
Well, I think offensively he has a lot of skills that he hasn't shown. He shoots the ball okay, and he just hasn't felt comfortable doing it. He's done a little bit of it in practice. I've encouraged him to shoot the ball more often. Now that's unusual, to tell the players you got to shoot it more, but he's offensively got a lot of things he could do, grow into, and I wish I had more time with him, because I really believe he could develop a much stronger, 17 and in game.
Team's on the verge of being ranked for the first time since 2004. What does that mean to you and to the program?
Oh, we've got a long ways to go. I don't think it means anything. We'll find out more about our team as we move on. We got a lot of areas that we've got to improve upon before I think we're a good basketball team. And so, we just need to get better. We need to get better in a lot of areas, and to do that, it's every day in practice, and we've only got 4 non-conference games before the conference starts, so we got a tremendous amount of work to do.
What about Nebraska this week? Familiar with them a little bit, new coach?
Not really. Just watched them on film, so they'll come come in here with a lot of energy. They had a big road win at Wake Forest, so I think this is their second road game. So we'll have to play well, and hopefully our guys will be ready for it.
You know, they played SC. Do you especially take a look at that film by any chance? Or?
Not really. Kevin's got a lot of new faces too this year, so it's really hard to gauge. But they shot the ball awfully well against USC. I think they had 11 threes in that game. So obviously we can't let them get going from three.
You talked about these 2 weeks practice. I mean, do you feel like you've had good practices? That things are going?
We've worked them a little bit, and at times I've been pleased. At other times I've been a little disappointed. But for the most part, they're trying, and I don't think they realize how far we have to go. We've got the freshmen who, just don't realize what's ahead of them. And the grind that a conference season is. So anyway, we just, again, we've got a lot of work to do. I'm cautiously optimistic. I think we got good guys. I think if they work pretty hard, we can have a decent team. But EJ needs to settle in, and our vets need to carry us here in this early part of the conference season. And as we move into that, but we've got, we have a lot of areas that we're not very good at right now.
So will the game against Nebraska tell you more?
Oh yeah, no. Every outing, gives us a little better idea of what we're doing, and so yeah, no, it's every time we take the floor, practice or game, I'm evaluating everything's on film, and we go over it a number of times and trying to get better. Got a long way to go.
Still got to feel good about where you are right now, though. I mean, they do seem like they're.
Oh, you bet. No, the guys, they found a way to, fight through some things, and although I've been disappointed at times, they seem to be pretty focused. They're trying to listen. We just, when you bring this many new guys together, you've got a time there where you're a little unsettled, and you've got to put things together, and we're still in that period. But I like the potential of the team, but you're a long time ago. Potential is just another word for it means you're not very good right now, so we've just got a long ways to go.
How's the overall team chemistry? Are the guys still learning to play together?
No, they work together good. They seem to get along good, and no, I think we got good guys. I like working with them, and they try to put up with me, and they try to work hard, and those are all things that are good, and I think most of them realize how far we have to go, but a few of them, just not ready for it yet.
You talked about their win at Wake Forest and beating SC. Nebraska, athletically, maybe more of a test than you've had the last couple of games. I mean,
oh yeah,
good?
no, they're the big inside, and vets inside, and Tally and Ray and those guys all played for them, and so they got a veteran squad, and so a lot of those guys are back from a year ago when we played them. So no, they're bigger, more athletic, and more vets.
Tony had a tough week in Las Vegas weekend for not being able to play very much. The last game obviously wasn't as much of a test, but do you feel like he's making progress and being able to stay in the game?
Well, I think so. I mean,
he's just kind of freakish.
I don't know. He just got himself out of position. We put a little too much pressure on him. Guys blowing by us, to the basket, and so it's a combination of things. But and he had some fouls that were just plain silly. So I mean, he's got to stay better focused. He's got to get in better athletic position. Sometimes he gets playing too straight up and down. But no, he's coming along. I think there's so much more there. And that's my challenge to him. I think there's a lot more there. I think he knows it. And so we'd like to see him make a lot of progress, because he's a talented young man that can really be a difference maker for us if he really fills into his role.
You've got a double-digit advantage in rebounds. Do you read that as a significant number yet? Are you that good a rebounding team?
Well, part of it's competition, but part of it's Arsalan. I mean, he brings a different dynamic to the boards than what we've had, but we've still got to be a better team rebounding team than we are. We don't have everybody. We're leaking out sometimes on the break before we got the ball. you know, our guards aren't rebounding hard enough. So, you know, I think Arsalan's changed a lot of that. He's getting almost 10 a game. And, you know, like Cincinnati, I think he had 15. You know, I mean, he goes and gets the ball. So, but we've got to do a better job as a team.
Is that him and those big guys, the guards are leaking out because they're counting on those guys?
Yeah, I think they're just like, well, Arsalan will get it. You know, I want to get down on the break and try to get an easy one. And, you know, we've got to do a little better job as a team. You know, everybody getting the ball before we take off. All right, fellas.